So in order to be visibly confident, there are 5 key pillars, 5 key things that you really need to master. It could just be that you're great at some of them, but not consistently great at all of them. So in order to help you, following on from the email that you may have received to watch this video, or you might just have stumbled across this here on this channel, I'm going to answer a few questions that I was asked in a recent interview, because I think it will actually be helpful for you to identify what being visibly confident is, how to activate your ability to be visible, and why it's even important. So the first thing I'm going to start off with, if you've stumbled across this video, you won't know that my name's Jenny Kovacs, and I'm actually nicknamed the Queen of Being Seen. So what does that mean if you're a business owner, a busy business owner at that, what you do is transformational? It's likely that you're a service-based business, so maybe you're a coach or a consultant, an author, a speaker, somebody who wants to get your message more out there in the world to more people so that you can do the stuff that you love doing. So what does that mean for you? I'm actually known as a Queen of Being Seen, not because I'm the most visible person on the planet, although I've got quite a big reach. I'm known as the Queen of Being Seen because the thing that I'm most passionate about is that you can put yourself out there and be visible. Now, I need to tell you why this is important. It's important because in many of the talks that I give, there's a statistic and some figures that I put out there all the time. And, you know, this is something that I heard like 20 years ago now, and it's quite shocking. Here's what's shocking about this. There's 10% of you out there, you're a subject matter expert on the thing you do. You know everything about the work you do. And if you're watching this video, it's likely that you don't know a lot about just one area. You're a polymath, which means that you do lots of things in your business. And because of that, sometimes it's hard for you to articulate or explain what it is you do. But here's the thing. You know everything about that particular area, but you're likely to never be referred on to, be the first person to be recommended. And that actually saddens me. This is part of why I do the work that I do. So you know everything. You could literally be on the program Mastermind, be asked, your area of expertise, answer every question, yet still be passed over. That just doesn't seem right to me. Now, the next percentage is 27%, and 27% of these people, again, you know your subject matter inside and out. You don't need to go and research anything before you answer a question. And you've actually got a really great reputation. You're known for what you do, and you've got a great, you leave people feeling great about themselves. Yet still, it's unlikely that you'll experience, living your purpose doing the work that you do. It's likely that you won't experience the validation that you know that you have deep down, because you are great at what you do. So for you, and those of you in the 10%, where you really need to be is in the 63% of people who are highly visible. Now, you might be saying, hey, you with the green circles in your glasses, and I'm just not taking my glasses off. I'm still recovering from a bite that blew my face up, but it means that I can read my notes easily and see you. But when you're in the 63% of people who are highly visible, you're more in demand, you're seen as more credible, you're seen as having more gravitas, you're seen as being more influential, which means that you're seen as having more impact. Everybody wants you. Now, one of the examples that I give in some of the talks that I do, whether it's, to a corporate audience or to an entrepreneurial audience, is, have you ever had a job where the email comes round that congratulates somebody for being promoted, and everyone around the office is going, how did they get that? Who did they sleep with? That kind of thing. Well, if you've ever experienced or encountered that, maybe you've seen, an opportunity to speak somewhere or to share your knowledge, and quite a few people have shown interest. And when it comes to it, you've heard, well, we went with this person in the end. Or even, I hear this a lot from authors, especially aspiring authors. Maybe they've been approached by a recognised publishing house, or they've approached a publishing house who have considered their book and then said, but you know what? you need to grow your audience a bit more. If you've ever heard that, it's feedback really that you're not quite in the 63%. But the good thing is, using these 4 key pillars, you can get there. So that's why I'm the queen of being seen, because I share tips like the ones I'm going to share with you right now to get you thinking about which areas you can start to elevate yourself to be in that high percentage of people who are seen, who are heard, who are called upon, who are recognised. So why would, see, I have to keep putting my glasses on, but why would business owners, consultants, speakers need to be seen, and what's so important about being seen? Well, just being in the 63% or being all over social media isn't really what's going to cut it. Why it's important is that for you, your business thrives on it, whether you're doing it as part of a thing that you want to build into, whether it's your so-called side hustle, or whether it's a thing that pays your bills. Yes, many of you won't do it for the money. I know this because I have worked literally with thousands of people over the last 10.5 years. And for many of you, it's not just about the money. But you do need to pay your mortgage or rent, pay your bills, and hopefully be able to have a great time doing it and not go through the feast and famine cycle. But the other side of the coin is that for you to be seen and for you to put the work that you do out there in a transformational way is actually very self-validating, and also it helps you to feel that your work is actually making a difference, it's actually changing lives. And ultimately, it helps you know that you're a purpose-driven business. You get to live your purpose. And I know that over the years, there's been nothing greater than when I've seen the lights go off in people's eyes, the excitement that they get when they know that they're now on purpose and they found their purpose. So there are really sort of 3 things that you should know about, how to be successful in raising your professional profile as one of these busy business owners, so that you're visible. So the thing to know is you need to have a plan. That plan doesn't need to be on a spreadsheet. It doesn't need to be something that you pore over for 6 months and then start to implement. But it's like a map. You need to know the destination that you're going to. How you get there is totally up to you. There's a saying that I love, and it's put your goals in stone and your plans in sand, which means that as long as you know where you're headed to, you keep those in stone, you don't move them. How you get there is not necessarily something for you to worry deeply about or overthink or plan and then revise the plan, but it gives you something to implement to get to your destination. So the first thing that I would say is make sure that you have a plan. Now, this is a weird phenomenon. We all have ideas and plans that we want to drive forward. Yet when we try to do it ourselves, it feels like the hardest thing possible. Yet when we work with somebody else who can kind of see outside of our head and all of the doubts, fears, worries, concerns that go around there, it seems so much easier. So my second tip is don't do it alone. If you want to move there faster, then go together. Don't try and work it out on your own. In fact, at this point, I'd ask you a question. Think about the thing that you want to be more visible about and how long you've been wanting to be visible about that. It's quite shocking. I ask myself this question regularly and I share this with clients. And sometimes the things that I've tolerated or put up with, I've actually put up with for a very long time. And once I realise that this is not, something that I can negotiate on or pull to one side, that I actually need to do and implement, once I get that, I can focus, I know where I'm going to, and it makes it so much easier. So I definitely recommend the same for you. And then the next thing is be very self-aware on this journey. Quite often, you're busy enough as it is, you're maybe looking and comparing yourself against other people. But what you really need to do is self-reflection, good old-fashioned self-reflection. When you're self-aware, you know which bits that you want to dial up and turn the heat up on and which bits that you want to dial down. And I will be talking about this more in the coming days, so do check back however you were alerted to this video. But, one of the things that I really want you to be able to do is to be the kind of confident, the kind of visible that has you able to show up like that at the drop of a hat. Somebody says, can I interview you right now about this topic? You're not thinking, no, I need days to put my presentation together. or somebody wants to speak to you. Maybe they want to interview you about something on a podcast. You're not thinking, no, I'm not ready yet. I'll be ready in 6 months' time. I want you to be not only visible, but I want you to be confidently visible. And that means knowing what you know and feeling excited about sharing what you say from the inside to outside. So during this pandemic, I think, despite being on Zoom, often it feels for people like it's harder to be seen. And the reason for that, of course, the Wellness Wife went on Zoom and, it was like Zoom shares must have gone up by a gazillion overnight. But it feels often like you're in a more crowded space. And you know what the funny thing is? If you can get visibly confident from the inside out, it doesn't matter where you're required to show up or how. It just is easy for you to put yourself out there in a way that feels confident and congruent to you. So any recommendations that I would talk about is get comfortable with being on camera. We don't know moving forward how many times we might be restricted to being out there and being visible in the flesh. So why not get used to and practice doing both? And it means that your business will literally not be affected. I have to say something that makes me feel incredibly guilty to say this. When I went into the pandemic, I honestly thought, this is going to be tough. I don't know that my business will necessarily survive this. None of us knew what was going to happen. But the minute I put my focus in a certain direction, in certain areas, and took my focus off the things that didn't serve me, got my head straight, as I say, so really looked at my mindset and the way that I was thinking about things, it made an incredible difference. And I have to say, I've done really well through this. Now, I share that with you, not because I want to boast and show off, but I was able to help other people, work with other people to make a difference. I was still able to, book speaking gigs. I was still able to help people transform their own visibility journey. I was still able to speak at conferences. I was still able to put videos out. I was still, even with my lockdown hair drastically changing, able to consistently put myself out there. And over the last month or so, having had a bite on my nose that swelled up half of my face, I was still actually able to just put myself out there on social media. Now that's important because I like to walk my talk, and I do it because I believe that you can too, regardless of what's going on. So to turn some of the nuggets that you've heard in this video today into something that's going to be kind of immediate, long lasting, if you haven't already heard of my visibility activator system, then there are 5 key pillars to it. Underneath this video, there'll be somewhere where you can put in your email address and for free get the framework of that. And over time, you'll get some kind of nuggets, tips and emails. Now, if you're the sort of person that likes to do things privately, I've done this in groups, but I've also approached mentors and coaches privately, and you want to book a conversation about how that could work, then by all means, when you get that first email, please respond back and just say, book a call with Jenny. I'll send you a link and you'll be able to book that call, and we'll be able to discuss whether I can help you, and if so, how I can help you. But I can't wait to hear from you, and I'd love to hear what you feel holds you back on being visible, or what you love about putting yourself out there and being visible. Just type underneath this video. Can't wait to hear what you share. Bye for now.